What's up, fight fans? Greg Rowe Show Boxing. Well, if you can tell by the title of the video, I'm going to be getting into a breakdown and giving you my opinion, not just being a boxing fanatic and somebody who, has studied boxing and studied fight film for a long period of time, but also using video clips. So there's going to be probably between 18 and 20 minutes worth of video clips in this video. It is going to be a longer video because I feel like this fight and this matchup needs a thorough breakdown. One thing that drives me crazy, I'm not a huge fan of hypothetical, what if type matchups or fantasy matchups, whatever you want to call them. But this one I think is one of the ones that's really worth it. And I want to do a thorough job. And I don't just want to sit here and talk about it. I want to give you my thoughts on how I feel like this would go, but then also back that up using actual fight footage. Not a lot of people do that. A lot of people say this or that, and they don't really back it up with anything. So for me, this would be the number one fantasy matchup for me that I would like to see in the history of boxing. You have, the Golden Division, the heavyweight division. You have the two biggest names in the history of the heavyweight division. Ali retired in, 81-ish. Tyson, really retired, about 20 years ago. I know he had that whatever with Jake Paul, but that wasn't a real fight. And so they came roughly, Tyson really came probably on the scene about 5 years after Ali was done. So they were really close. Their eras kind of touched each other. And I think that's another thing that makes them so beloved and creates a lot of nostalgia around them as fighters and their eras, is just because they were so close as well. So right off the bat, the thing that drives me the most insane when talking about this matchup or even trying to break this down is you have people who they're just in their feelings about it. They're not gonna not be in their feelings. They can't see the forest through their trees. They can't see the nose on the end of their face. They're just going to say, hey, I think this is going to happen, right? Ali would chop him up worse than Douglas. Mike Tyson would knock him out in the first round, right? You're getting all of those type of people, and this video isn't for those type of people. I'm not interested in making videos for bozos, and if you're somebody who's not going to listen, you're not going to pay attention, you haven't paid attention, you're not going to watch the fight footage, you're not going to watch the breakdowns or whatever, you're just going to be in your feelings about it, then this video isn't for you. We're 3 minutes into the video. If that's you, turn it off. If you're interested in a real breakdown, you're interested in real, fight footage, you're interested in something that is going to make you think, that is going to make you do your own research, all those sorts of things, then this video is for you. So right off the bat, I'm going to tell you who my pick for this fight is, and I am picking Mike Tyson. The reason I'm picking Mike Tyson is actually a lot of reasons. One being the skill set. When you go back and look at Mike Tyson, I don't know if from the ground up there was ever a fighter that was sculpted into perfection the way that he was. A lot of guys are really good. A lot of guys have, really good skill sets and things that they do really well, whether it's you're a good boxer, you're slick, you have good defense, you're a good counter puncher, you're a power puncher, you're smart, you have a good chin, whatever it may be. A lot of guys have a lot of stuff. Mike Tyson was somebody who had everything. He had everything. And when you consider his stature at, 5'10", 5'11", whatever he was, to accomplish what he accomplished, especially in the era when the 80s was really like when the monsters came out, right? There in like the mid 70s and whatnot, you started having the Foremans, the Nortons, the Ron Lyles, the guys like that. But really everybody in the 80s was 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", 220 to 240. they were really big heavyweights. It was when the big heavyweights really started. A lot of them were Ali clones, right? Because Ali was kind of the man. You started seeing guys fight like and be trained in the Ali style, and that's moving around, hands kind of here, flicking out a jab, combination punches, tying guys up, moving away, that type of thing. A lot of guys from that era fought that way. Even Larry Holmes, to some extent, was really an Ali clone. Cus D'Amato, being the scholar of boxing that he really was, you knew that style. He had studied that style. He had trained fighters. Jim Jacobs was with Mike Tyson, and he had the largest fight film catalog that has ever been. And Mike Tyson was able to, at the time he was training, able to watch fight films and footage and fights and study fighters like nobody else really in history was able to do. He could go back and watch fights back to the 20s, the 30s, and watch, whatever weight class he wanted, watch whatever fighter he wanted. He was able to study guys, their movements, what kind of things they did effectively, what kind of things they did to neutralize something that somebody else did. And he was able to take all of that stuff, download it, in his head, and he was able to incorporate things that he liked, things that he saw, things that were effective, and he was able to use those in his own skill set. And you couple that with Cus D'Amato's style, the peekaboo style, which was tailor-made for Mike Tyson. Nobody has ever used it to the perfection the way that Mike Tyson did. You couple that with his stature, only being 5'10 or 5'11, but being very strong, very athletic, very mean, and the fact that he was, at a place in his life where he was vulnerable from the standpoint that he was looking for some kind of leadership, right? Some kind of, father type figure in his life to give him some direction, to change his life. And Cus D'Amato saw that and basically broke him down and remolded him from the ground up, both mentally, physically, emotionally, everything. And you couple all of that together with what we ended up getting and what we ended up seeing, and I think he's the greatest fighting machine we've ever seen, especially when he was at his best. Like, you started to see some of that in 1985. It started getting better in 86, 87, 88 were just like, holy shit, that was just insane. He started to kind of slide after that, and that's really, because Mike Tyson set out to prove Cus D'Amato right, win the heavyweight title, be a heavyweight champion, and once he accomplished that, there was nothing left. Like, he was like, what am I supposed to do? I've trained, the last, 9 years for all of this. I finally reached it. I finally reached the top of the mountaintop. I've accomplished everything I've set out to accomplish and more. What do I do now? And there wasn't a voice. There wasn't real leadership to kind of guide him through that part of his life. There could have been, Cus D'Amato, Bill Caton was still around. Jim Jacobs had died, which, was like his second father or like his best friend. Cus D'Amato had died, and he had like Steve Lott around him, Matt Berinsky around him. And so he had these figures that could have helped him through these waters, but unfortunately, he was kind of tricked by not only Don King but Robin Givens, and basically let everybody go that had any kind of stable impact on his life, that provided stability, that kept him on the straight and narrow, kept him being the best fighter in the world, kept him being the highest earning fighter in the world. You got to also remember, Mike Tyson was like the most beloved athlete in the late 80s. Like, he was everybody wanted a piece of him, and then like as soon as he got with Don King and these things happened, he sort of had this shift, and then all of a sudden, while still being popular, he didn't have the same impact. It was like he had slipped and fallen, and was now not as loved or looked at as the type of good guy that he had been during the Kevin Rooney custom auto days. And so anybody in it doesn't matter what you do, if it's sports, if you're a doctor, you're a teacher, you're a lawyer, you're a firefighter, a police officer, you're a courtesy clerk at a grocery store, you're a server at a restaurant. If you don't have passion and love and drive for what you're doing, you're not going to be good at it, and you're not going to be as successful at it as you would be if you did love it and you did have it in your heart and you did have the drive. Well, after Custom Auto died, Mike Tyson lost a lot of that love, that desire, and that drive. He kept going to accomplish the goal. But if you remember correctly, after Mike Tyson beat Michael Spinks at the post-fight press conference, he was threatening on retiring. Not only just because of all the negative things that were in the press about him, about Robin Givens, all that kind of stuff, but he just didn't have the love for it that he had before. And so a lot of that downfall in 89, 90, 91 was literally due to just insecurities, not having a real stable force in his life, sort of having people around him that kind of pumped his tires and made him feel like he was invincible and he didn't have to work hard and he didn't have to put the work in and everything that he did before to become the best fighter in the world. And so all of that stuff kind of snowballed, and that led to the loss against Buster Douglas. That led to his rape conviction, whether you feel like it was right or not. I wasn't sure what to think about it at the time, and then I saw an interview, which I can post the link in the description below if you're interested in watching that yourself. It's about 20-25 minutes, in which they tracked down a lot of the people who were jurors on his case and present new evidence, and they found out that certain things were withheld from them. They didn't know these things, and they didn't let certain people interview and all this stuff. And these people were like, man, had I known this, or I'd seen this information, or I'd heard this person's testimony or whatever, I might not have convicted him. And a lot of people thought that the trial was unfair. So that's neither here nor there, but if you're interested, I'll post the link in the comment section below. Getting into the fight itself, I think we can all agree that like 86 to 88, 86 to 89 is Mike Tyson's prime. That's when he was at his best. That's when he beat his best opponents. That's when his skill sets, his drive, his everything were at their peak. And I think we could say, 64 to 67 for Muhammad Ali is probably about right, about accurate. So you can take each fighter in their prime and we can break all that down. And then we can, break down some other stuff. A lot of the stuff I see from people who pick Muhammad Ali are that he would just hit him with the jab all night, control Mike Tyson with the jab, that, Tyson would get frustrated by the antics and the jab and the mocking and the movement and all that kind of stuff, and Ali would just basically chop him up with the jab all night. The other one I see is people saying, well, look at what he did to George Foreman. He rope-a-doped him, so that's what he would do to Mike Tyson. Like those are mostly the top two kind of responses that I see online, or that people who I just even have conversations with usually use or point to as to why they think Muhammad Ali would beat Mike Tyson. Now, I'm going to tell you that I disagree with both of those, and I'm going to use video footage to kind of prove my point. So let's start off with the first one, prime Ali, prime Tyson, that, Tyson could be controlled with the jab. He could be easily hit with the jab. Muhammad Ali would just keep the jab in his face all night, and, all these antics and stuff, and Tyson would get frustrated and get beat up with the jab and eventually get stopped. So let's get into the fight footage here. We're going to just show some prime highlights here of Muhammad Ali throughout, the 60s and the 70s, kind of using that jab and what that kind of looked like. And then we'll get into a highlight of Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson's defense, which I think is the most underrated aspect of his skill set. I think his defense and his ability to avoid punches was just as big a weapon as his hand speed and his punching power. So let's get into those two clips, and then we will break everything down on the flip side.
Right hand, the best punch in the fight so far. But that jab didn't miss.
See, you're the scholar of boxing.
That's it. There you go. Now you got again. Who's the last guy to stop?
While in the gym, he practiced the model's peekaboo style, fighting with one's hands high, as if in a defensive screen.
Right to the body, left jab, right to the heart.
As anybody can see, I'm almost a master at evading the punches coming at me.
A beautiful punch, and
wrestling so well. I mean, I think the weight has made a difference in his own body movement and his legs.
All right, and there are the clips from Muhammad Ali, moving around, dancing, using his jab, using the jab, the right hand, the double jab, the triple jab, all those kinds of things, and then a highlight tape of Mike Tyson's defense. Now, if you're one of those people that's gonna tell me that Muhammad Ali is just gonna sit in front of Mike Tyson all night, and Mike Tyson's gonna be flat-footed and just get peppered with the jab all night, sorry, that's not gonna happen. That's not going to happen. I mean, if you watch the highlight tape, it's not going to happen. The easiest punch for Mike Tyson to slip was the jab. It was the easiest punch for him to slip. And because Muhammad Ali held his hands so low, if he tried to double and triple up that jab, by the time he threw the second or attempted to throw the third one, Mike Tyson would bob, weave, and already be looking for an overhand right. He would go, right to the body, right uppercut, which Muhammad Ali I believe would be really susceptible to. And I just don't see Muhammad Ali controlling Mike Tyson with the jab all night. I'm sorry, I just don't see it. And I don't think the fight footage shows that either. So if you're one of these people that thinks Mike Tyson was just a flat-footed brawler who, had no stamina and was just coming in to knock you out in the first and second round, and if he couldn't, he got frustrated, and you just be able to control him with a jab all night, that would not happen. That would not happen at all. Muhammad Ali made a lot of technical mistakes, especially in his prime, because his athleticism and his reflexes allowed him to do it and allowed him to get away with it. He would not be able to get away with those kinds of things against a Mike Tyson. A big comparison is Joe Frazier to Mike Tyson. And while I get the stature kind of comparisons, they're completely different as fighters. Joe Frazier was a one-handed fighter. He was left hook heavy. There isn't a fight that you can show me where he, was effective with a jab, was effective with the right hand, was effective with, the uppercut or anything like that. He was very left hook dependent. Mike Tyson was not left hook dependent. He had a great jab. He even out-jabbed people like Tony Tucker and outbox them down the stretch. The jab is not about how long your arms are. The jab is about timing. And Mike Tyson was a master at timing bigger guys. He knew when to throw his jab. He knew how to land before the longer, armed guys did. And I just don't see a scenario where Muhammad Ali just dances around him all night and peppers him with a jab. I mean, other than the Cleveland Williams fight, what fight out there did Muhammad Ali dance and move like 3 minutes of every round? It's not there. The fight is not there. He picked and chose his spots in which he wanted to dance and move. And the thing about Mike Tyson is Mike Tyson had the footwork and the foot speed to keep up with Ali. He had the hand speed to catch him. His hands might even have been faster than Muhammad Ali's. I know you might roll your eyes when I say that, but watch the fight footage. And he had the power to hurt him when he did catch him. And Mike Tyson was a tremendous finisher. If you think that Mike Tyson would show up to fight Muhammad Ali like he showed up to fight Buster Douglas, you're out of your mind. Mike Tyson would take the Muhammad Ali fight more seriously than he ever took a fight in his entire life. He would show up in better conditioning, better shape, more focused than he did against Larry Holmes, Michael Spinks, Trevor Berbick, Tyrell Biggs, whatever fight you want to name. No, Tyson would come in laser focused, extremely good shape, probably 216 to 217, just lean, mean, fast, strong, focused. Muhammad Ali, trash talking Mike Tyson and getting in his head and rattling him, not going to happen. Not going to happen. He may have been able to get away with that with other guys. It's not going to work on Mike Tyson. Okay, it's not going to work. So that version, again, I just don't see anything in the fight footage. You know, no body shots being thrown by Muhammad Ali. And you know, against Frank Bruno, against Donovan Razor Ruddock, against Tony Tucker, even in the first probably 30 to 45 seconds of that fight, you know, Tony Tucker hits Tyson with an uppercut. Because Tyson sort of stood with his feet parallel and not, you know, in a traditional boxing stance, you know, he could get hit occasionally with an uppercut if he timed it. But Muhammad Ali rarely threw them. He rarely threw body shots. He was very reliant on the jab, doubling up, tripling up, you know, throwing the right hand behind. And with Tyson being able to duck down low, he would be punching down on him, and Mike Tyson would come up with counter shots. I just don't see anything, again, in the fight footage that shows me that Muhammad Ali, you know, that version of him would beat a peak Mike Tyson. Sorry, I just don't see it. Getting into the second half of this argument, this discussion that Muhammad Ali would rope-a-dope him like he did George Foreman. Well, let's get into the fight footage there again. Let's break things down with fight footage and not just talk about it. I'm going to show you probably highlights of like the first 5 or 6 rounds of the Rumble in the Jungle. We've all seen the fight. You know, we know how it ends. We know how it goes. But I just want to highlight Muhammad Ali getting on the ropes and kind of covering up and watching what George Foreman does. Watch his game plan. Watch his execution of that. Watch Ali tie him up. And then we're going to get into breaking down some fight footage from multiple fights for Mike Tyson. Frank Bruno, when Bruno would get hit, you know, got him up against the ropes. Buster Mathis doing the same thing. Razor Ruddock, let's get into, you know, kind of looking at that. Even Larry Holmes. And just kind of break down how Mike Tyson fought when he had somebody up against the ropes, and his style and what he would do compared to what George Foreman did and how he fought Ali, and see if there's any kind of, you know, comparison there as to their styles that would show us or indicate that Mike Tyson would fight Muhammad Ali the same way that George Foreman did. So let's get into it.
Ali definitely talking to him. Look at the stare on George Foreman. Round 1, Ali bouncing around, shifting left for right. George moves slow. Ali gets the first punch in. Foreman a bit cautious in the first round, looking to drop that left hook. Foreman dances now. Moves Ali with a right hand lead again. Muhammad Ali. Ali lashes out with a light left. A straight right hand. Forehead of George Ali. That's Ali on your right. Foreman on the left. A wild left hand thrown by George Foreman. Taken on the side of the head of Ali. Direct from Zaire, Africa. That punch did no damage. That one did. 2 wild right hands taken on the side of the head. Back Clayton separates them. Wild left hand, vicious hook. There's a real strong right hand just underneath the heart. And Muhammad Ali is taking some punishment now. Confused, but a straight left jab thrown by Foreman has Ali in the corner. Ali dances back, hangs on. What a tremendous pace in round number 1. Ali is definitely headhunting with his right hand lead. A good right hand. Wild left hand is not scoring, not getting through. Left jab right in the button thrown by Ali. Another left jab. Another left hand on the right eye of George Foreman. The straight left jab, an improved left jab. There's a vicious, awkward, but very powerful. Pace is definitely slowed down in round 2. Oh, a great left hand, an over and under combination, left hand and then the right on the jaw, taken by the champion George Foreman. There's the left hand in the eye of Foreman. Ali scoring some punches here. These punches are not hurting him that he's taking on the side of the head. 30 seconds left in round 2. Look at Ali, continues to taunt and talk. Definitely serious, tremendous combination by Muhammad Ali. George Foreman backing Ali to the ropes. There's a vicious left hook to the body. Push and try to set up his punch. Watch him push. There's the right hand. When he pushes, he tries to do it off of that. Very close heavyweight championship fight. Ali on the left. Foreman misses the right hand. Ali scores with his own right. Foreman setting him up against the rope. What a vicious, fast combination by Ali. Foreman looks unusually slow with his hands. But look at this now. All of a sudden he opens up. Now the fighters move across the ring. A right hand lead by Foreman this time. Another right hand. A good right hand. By that blow. Vicious right hand. Foreman looking for the opportunity. Has a tremendous look of determination. Staggered! Foreman staggered! Definitely! That's probably the hardest Foreman has been hit since Gregorio Peralta opened his eye in the first fight. Another right hand. Foreman hasn't been able to push Ali off and set him up. Misses the right hand. Zach Clayton, the referee, separates the two fighters. There's the vicious left. No real serious damage done. Ali is getting his hand up. The wild left. Stands on his toes, works downstairs, goes downstairs. Good left hook by Ali. Good left hook by Foreman. Ali. Foreman with a wild right again. Ali looks like he's trying to rest in this round. His punches are not doing any damage though. Vicious right thrown to the body of Ali. Wild right misses the head of Ali. The left taken on the glove of Ali, the right glove. 1 minute left in round 5. This is George Foreman's round all the way. Ali, this is a cruising round for him. Foreman wailing away, and Ali says, "Is that your best punch?" Good twist left, the combination by Ali lands in the head of Foreman. Foreman with that right. Ali's throwing a good pass, a good right, backs up Foreman. Backs him up in his back. Foreman staggered. Foreman trying to look. Ali's throwing to the right. Foreman gets back to the left. Foreman hit again. Foreman has been hit 3 or 4 times. Misses a wild left hand. Ali showing tremendous.
This place seats about 8,000 or 9,000 here at the Hilton Hotel. Bruno was caught that time, and Tyson knows it. Tyson trying to attack now to finish him off. Tyson gives him room to come off the ropes. Scores with the uppercut. Lands a big right hand. Bruno's in big trouble now. He's ready to go. He hits him with a right hand. Bruno trying to hang on as best he can. He's still in big trouble. The uppercut catches him. The right hand catches him. He's really being hit now. Blood coming from the nose. His eyes are puffy. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell as the big right hand lands. Tyson knows he's got him in big trouble. If he doesn't answer it, Richard Steele has moved in and has stopped the fight. You're watching Larry Holmes. Oh, look at this. Larry up in it, and he stole rounds, but doing it the start of a round is something different. And now here he is back to the... Oh, left hook got Larry. Great fights of all heavyweight history. 4th round is the biggest problem. Oh, right hand, down goes. But right now, Mike Tyson is in charge. He's the boss, and Larry's down for the... There's lightning in the fist. Big right hand, followed up. The end of a great career is imminent for the big shot. Right hand hurt Larry again. He's back to the body, goes to throw a right hand, gets clipped with a big right hand. He won't get up.
Now this is the first time that Tyson has had Mathis up against the ropes. Body punches. And a miss by Tyson.
Mike's loading up a little too much. Buster can see some of them coming. He's getting out of the way of most of them. Frank Cappuccino.
Oh, Tyson caught him with the right uppercut right there.
Get back, Buster. Get back, Buster. Come up with the shots.
Let's see again by ducking.
Use that right-footed pivot. Swing around on your opponent's side and then crack.
Oh, he got a right uppercut. Another right uppercut. And down goes Mathis.
See, he stepped back and did it again. Stepped off and around and ripped that uppercut to where Mathis was ducking right into it.
9, 10. He didn't beat the count.
Round 1 scheduled for 12.
A difference in size immediately apparent. Ruddock just went for a home run with an uppercut which missed.
The big question, can Ruddock withstand the customary early pressure and barrage by Mike Tyson?
Well, he's ready for it. He threw his bomb.
Oh, a right by Tyson, and Ruddock stumbled, but he stayed up.
Well, he'd thrown a big punch. He stumbled after the punch.
A left uppercut by Razor Ruddock. The associate minister lets them know doesn't seem to care. A hard body punch by Tyson. Down goes Ruddock. He says he slipped. But Steele is counting.
Composed because a hurricane is building up.
There's a big right by Tyson. On Tyson.
Oh, right by Tyson.
He just doesn't quite get there.
There's a left by Ruddock. A left by Tyson, and down goes Ruddock.
What a counterpunch.
5, 6, 7, 8. You okay? Come to me.
The bell is sounded to end the third.
Oh.
Oh, a big left. Oh, they hit after the bell once again.
Steele warning. Oh. He can question his integrity or his honesty.
A flurry in the center of the ring, midway through the fifth.
Getting chopped down little by little. Whoa, nice right hand by Tyson.
Oh, what a right hand.
A little uppercut and then the right hand over there. Oh, nice hook.
Here comes Razor Ruddock out of nowhere. A combination by Ruddock. An uppercut by Ruddock. A right by Ruddock. Tyson comes back.
And inflicted some hard punishment again.
A left uppercut by Razor Ruddock. That stunned Tyson. Now Tyson says no. Hit me again. And he did with the right. As the bell sounds. Taking some steam out of Tyson. Ruddock coming back. Now Tyson with a big left. Some pretty good chins. For withstanding this kind of barrage. Oh, what a right by Tyson. Oh, the left. Now the right combination. Steele steps in. Is it over?
All right, and as you can see from that fight footage, George Foreman, while strong, was definitely leaner, obviously in the 70s than he was when he came back. But George Foreman was really an arm puncher, right? A lot of that stuff is here, and it's here, and it's clubbing, and it's this, and it's this, and it's this. It's just clubbing. He was just kind of clubbing at Ali. And there wasn't any rhyme or reason to what he was throwing and why he was throwing a certain punch or a certain combination, or if he was, trying to go to the body and soften it up and then go to the head. He was just basically throwing heavy shots in hopes that he would eventually catch Ali with something. And that didn't work because it was the wrong game plan. And George Foreman was so used to just blowing people out with his power and his aura that he didn't have a high boxing IQ, right? If you're outside in the heat and you have somebody that's covering up, the game plan that you don't want to have is just to sit there and punch yourself out. And that is to just throw random punches, just throw things, throw in hopes that something lands. There has to be more intelligence behind your punch selection, what you're doing, why you're doing it. And that's where I think Mike Tyson's boxing IQ, from having all of those fights at his leisure to watch and to be able to study, and having a guy like Customato, who's one of the best boxing brains to ever walk this planet, served him well. In that Mike Tyson did not waste a whole bunch of shots. If you watching those fight footage clips, he's selecting the shots he's throwing. He's not punching himself out. If the punch is not there or the combination isn't there, you will see him step back and give himself punching range and not crowd himself, which takes away some of the effectiveness of those close range shots, right? So Mike Tyson was much smarter, much more intelligent, and he would not attack Muhammad Ali the way that George Foreman did and punch himself out. It would not happen. There's no fight footage to show that. People can say what they want to say, but show me the fight. Right? That's what I always say. Show me the fight. Show it to me. Don't tell me about it. Show it to me. So I just don't see it. Guys, I'm sorry. I don't see a version of Muhammad Ali beating, a version of Mike Tyson other than, maybe possibly, the Mike Tyson that showed up against Lennox Lewis, when he was old and didn't care, could I see a 35, 36, 37-year-old Ali beating a 35, 36, 37-year-old Tyson if Tyson, showed up like he showed up in some of those later fights against, McBride and Williams and Lennox Lewis? Sure, I could. Sure. That's definitely a possibility. But do I see at their best a version of Ali that is able to beat Tyson? No, I don't. Again, it's the footwork and foot speed. It's the head movement. It's the defense. It's the granite chin. It's the high boxing IQ. It's the ability to work behind the jab. It's the ability to throw power shots with both hands, to punch in combination, to slide to the side and throw punches, at angles that we've really never seen any other heavyweight throw punches and combinations in. It's the overall intelligence of, not trying to wear yourself out or just throw punches to throw punches, or to, hear the crowd and hear them getting excited, and therefore you're just trying to, throw punches. I think Mike Tyson was a far more intelligent fighter in the ring than that, and I do not see him, punching himself out or being rope-a-doped, like, at all. I don't see him being controlled by the jab. I see him sort of chopping Ollie down the way that he did Tyrell Biggs, the way that he did Larry Holmes. That's really how I see them in their primes going. And that's fine if you want to disagree with me. If you want to be in your feelings and you want to say that's not going to happen, that's fine. But show it to me. Don't tell me about it. Show it to me. Okay? Mike Tyson just had too much of a skill set, and he was too good at too many things, and to me it's just a stylistic mismatch. Tyrell Biggs, it was really the closest kind of clone that Tyson fought to Ali, of really kind of holding his hands down here and flicking the jab and pulling away and all that kind of stuff, and Tyson just ran through him. Now, am I saying that Tyrell Biggs is the class of fighter of Muhammad Ali? No, I'm not. I'm talking about the style. Styles make fights. And Muhammad Ali struggled with smaller pressure fighters, like, that didn't let him work and do what he wanted to do. Oscar Bonavina, Doug Jones, Mildenberger, Quarry, Joe Frazier. Like, he didn't like being sort of roughed up and whatnot. And he could beat a lot of those guys because, again, Muhammad Ali was a big heavyweight in the 60s that feasted on smaller heavyweights. A lot of those guys were 185, 190 pounds, and Tyson, in the 80s and 90s was a small heavyweight who feasted on big heavyweights. I think that's the major difference, is that Muhammad Ali was able to get away with a lot of the technical mistakes and everything that he was in the 60s because he fought slower, flat-footed plotters. If you look at a lot of those, that jab highlight that I showed especially, guys are just standing right in front of him. A lot of them aren't even really moving their head. They're not bending at the waist. They're not trying to, use any kind of upper body movement or use their legs or anything to avoid shots. They're just standing right in front of him. And so he was able to sort of pick those kind of guys apart. He wouldn't be able to do that with Mike Tyson. And I think the defensive highlight video that I showed proves that. He's not just going to be standing flat-footed in front of him and getting peppered with a jab all night, guys. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So I would pick Mike Tyson. I would pick Mike Tyson by knockout. I think it could go to decision, but I think Mike Tyson would be so amped up and focused that he'd be such a vicious animal that Muhammad Ali would start, trying to goof around and holding his hands too low and starting to do this, and Mike would catch him, and Mike was just a tremendous finisher. He was a vicious animal. So that's how I see it. You can disagree with me. That's fine, all you want. But you better come with it, and you better be able to point to it. You better be able to show me something. You better be able to say, "What about this?" Or, as if not, it's not even worth entertaining a conversation about. So That's it for me. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Share the video. Let me know what you think about the matchup in the comment section below. You know, I was thinking about doing a career comparison between Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson. If you'd like to see that, you'd like to see this kind of a breakdown for that as well, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to, you know, work on that and throw that together. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Until the next one, I'm out of here.